Hey friends, so today I want to work on like a little bit of a St. Patrick's Day treat. My grandmother-in-law ordered me a magazine subscription. It's Better Homes and Gardens. Basically, they had these, they're pistachio shamrock cookies, and they don't show a final picture, but I read through the recipe and they're supposed to be like a sugar cookie or a butter cookie that you cut out in cute little shamrock shapes, and then you fill with a pistachio cream and like a sandwich cookie, and you dip them in white chocolate. So it sounds really yummy. I want to try it. I got a shamrock cookie cutter just for this, and this I think it's gonna require a lot of dishes, so I've been waiting till I got my dishwasher fixed over here, and I actually got a new one because the parts that I needed to completely fix mine, we added a part, and then it wasn't the only part that it needed. So anyway, to spend money on more parts, it was going to cost the same amount it would to buy a dishwasher. So we bought a new one, and by new I mean never been used, but it is a scratch and dent one, but it is an upgrade. It's a lot quieter, so hopefully I'll also be able to run it in the future while I'm doing videos and stuff like that, so I won't just have like dishes sitting around as much while I'm hanging out with y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna get out all the ingredients we need for these cookies, and we're gonna have some fun in the kitchen. So I don't know if this recipe is on their website or not. Just in case it isn't, feel free to screenshot, zoom in, whatever you gotta do. I don't know why magazines are so expensive these days, and they don't always put the recipes on a recipe card thing that's easy to print out. Like, they have this little tiny bit of the recipe right here, and then it's all on the next page, so that's not easy to keep like in a recipe box or even in a binder. Anyway, because I don't want that recipe next to it. That's soy caramel chocolate walnut tart. There's two things in there that I cannot have, so or shouldn't be having. So anyway, I've got a cup of butter, so that's 2 sticks. I got it softened. I just softened it in the microwave, no big deal. Since this is like a sugar cookie kind of cookie, and the sugar I usually use has the larger granules, I like to put powdered sugar. Substitute the regular sugar for powdered sugar, and just it makes a more tender sugar cookie. So that's what I'm gonna use. I need 1.5 cups of it, but I'm gonna fluff up the butter a little bit first, and then I'll add 1.5 cups of sugar. Okay, weird. I'm supposed to add the baking powder and the salt. How much baking powder we need? I need 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And I don't even see where it says salt. Maybe I'm just looking over it. I'm just gonna add a little sprinkle of salt. I see where it says to add the salt in the directions, but not in the ingredient list. So that's fun. Alright, so 1/2 teaspoon of salt. No, I mean 1/2 teaspoon baking powder. This 1/4 teaspoon was good enough. We're going to double that. Alright, so now we need to add eggs, vanilla, and almond extract, and food coloring if you're using it. That's optional. You can just let the pistachios shine. Got out the food coloring just in case. but not necessary. Just a slash. Okay. Okay, I think I am going to be bold and use food coloring. I just have this. It's thicker stuff used for like icing and stuff like that. You can see how green it got just from that tiny little bit that I had on the toothpick. So I'm not going to add any more. With pistachio, kind of like the light green color. It's like pistachio pudding, like the instant pudding mixes. Is that light green? And it should get lighter when I add the flour. So now we're going to add in the ground pistachios and then the flour. Okay, we can do this. We gotta grind the pistachios. I got these lightly salted because it said to get unsalted. That wasn't an option where I went anyway. So a half a cup of them ground. I just have this mini food processor that I'm gonna shove them in. I use the same measuring cup I used for the sugar. And we're going to need more of these for the filling. It smells so good. Okay. I'd say that's a pretty ground. They're not like into a flour. It almost looks like breadcrumbs. Before I mix it in, look how pretty it looks. So we need 3 cups of flour. And it says to beat in all that you can and then mix the rest of it together with like a spatula or something. So we're going to try it without flinging flour everywhere. We're going to separate this dough into halves. We're going to half it. And then we're going to refrigerate it for like up to 2 hours. And then we're going to roll it out and cut it into our shamrock shapes. So I'm gonna get some plastic wrap out and then separate this out. The cookies have to chill for 2 hours, which is quite a bit of time. I wouldn't actually chill them as long as I did if I make them again because they were a bit hard to roll out and I had to leave them sit out for a minute. But right now I've got my peace lily, which is a house plant, so I keep it inside all the time and just give it like sunlight by a window, whatever. This is one of those like easy water plants where you don't really have to think about watering it, although I still do. I think it's just because I'm bad with plants. So I always check to see if like the soil's really dry and needs watering and stuff. I always try to keep it a little bit moist. Anyway, so peace lilies grow really well and they get huge. So I bought this like white tulip shaped pot from TJ Maxx the last time I was there, and I thought that would be really pretty to split my peace lily into. And I originally got the first peace lily from my mom. Hers grew huge. It was by a huge window all the time where a lot of sunlight came in, and it did it so well. So I love my peace lily because I've had it for like 2 years now and I haven't killed it yet, and now I'm transferring it. And I had a bag of potting soil already open, so that's what I was trying to use and scrape out every last bit of it. And then I grabbed this bag of Miracle Grow that I already had open too, and see how pretty they are. And those buckets, 2 of them are holding strawberry plants right now. So alright, so I'm gonna roll out the pistachio cookie dough, and just so you know, these cookies are gone already. We took them to a family gathering, and some of my extended family absolutely loves the flavor of pistachio, so they tore them up and they are no more. Oh, I forgot to mention, so this recipe is actually available on their website. They might make you pay to print it, but I will leave it linked below so y'all don't have to rely on the screenshot of the, the magazine or whatever. And I hope I can print it out without having to pay to print it out, because I probably won't. I'll just retype it up myself or something and print it if that's the case. But I got this shamrock cookie cutter, clover cookie cutter on Amazon, and it was actually pretty affordable because they're like small and lightweight, so that it doesn't cost a lot to ship them. And I think it was like under $2 for a cookie cutter. I bought some heart ones too, but of course I won't be needing those for a little while, although you could use a heart cookie cutter all year round. My husband thought it would be funny if I did corgi shaped cookies, pistachio cookies, because I have a copper corgi cookie cutter. Say that 5 times fast. These turned out so beautiful. I had to wait for them to completely cool. They only took 10 minutes per batch to bake, so that was great. Typically with cookie recipes, I have to let them go at least a few minutes longer than they ask for. So while those were cooling, and while I was working on, like, in the middle of rolling out the second batch of clover cookies and baking them, I went ahead and got started on dinner. So I'm chopping up some red potatoes and just into thin slices. I wanted to kind of do an au gratin thing. So this is, I made our dinner like a St. Patrick's Day theme too, just because it's green and has potatoes and beef involved. Not that it's authentically Irish or anything like that. I'm not making any claims here. I just wanted it to be fun and green. So I'm spraying like a loaf pan because we don't need that much au gratin, and I only use like 3 medium-sized red potatoes, and I'm melting a few tablespoons of butter, adding equal parts of flour to that once it's melted, kind of making a roux. And then I let this cook for a minute or two, and then I add in some milk, and this is going to be like the creamy cheese sauce in the au gratin. And I'd say I probably add like 1.5 cups to 2 cups of milk to this, just because I wanted there to be enough sauce around the potatoes. And I just wait for this mixture to thicken up, and I keep whisking it. I spilled milk on the burner, and so it was stinking, and I still have like a burnt spot on there that I need to scrape off. I need to use some Barbecueper's Friend. So I'm using some onion powder and garlic powder. You could totally chop up onions, you could chop up mushrooms, put it in here, and then I just added an Italian style blend cheese from Aldi that I really like, and I've got some frozen spinach that I'm just throwing in here. You'll see later on I don't make a separate vegetable, and that's just because I put a ton of spinach in here. I wasn't going to worry about it. And then I just let that spinach thaw, and I don't want this mixture to get too thick because it will thicken up a little bit more in the oven. And then I pour a little bit of the sauce on, and then layer it with the potatoes and just alternate that. And then I cover this and bake it at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour. If you make a dish that's any bigger than this, it will need to bake like an hour and a half or 2 hours. Au gratin takes forever to cook, so just keep that in mind. It also might vary based off of what kind of potato you're using. Like russets might take a little bit longer to cook, but you can see all the pretty green flecks in there from the spinach, and I'm adding more cheese on top before I bake it. Okay, so now I'm getting started with the beef. We had a package of ground beef. It was like Wagyu beef. We've never tried it before. It was in the freezer and we just needed to go ahead and use it up. So I went ahead and put all of my seasonings into a bowl. That way I wouldn't have to keep washing my hands in between. And then I put the ground beef in there. I know I put like garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, a heavy dose of those. This is going to be like a yummy gravy dish with some mushrooms in it too. So that's our other veggie that's just a part of the dish. And I'm just like massaging all the seasonings in there, making sure it's even. And then once my pan is nice and hot, I'm just going to patty these out like little Salisbury steaks and let them cook through. Sometimes I put the lid on it to like make sure that they actually cooked through, to like steam them a little bit. And then if too much moisture builds up in the pan, I'll turn the heat up a little bit higher, take the lid off, and let them finish browning. So I took those patties out and I had the residual grease. I was just kind of like trying to lift it from being sticking to the bottom of the pan with the whisk. And then since there's already grease in there, I didn't bother add butter to make the gravy. I just added a little bit of flour and then whisked it so there weren't any more lumps. And then I'm adding some Worcestershire sauce and then some water. You could also add like beef broth or whatever, but between the seasonings and the stronger flavor of the beef, I didn't really need to add anything else, although this gravy does look lighter in color than I normally have it. And then I also seasoned the gravy itself. And then here goes all the mushrooms. I love mushrooms. They're one of my favorite things. Alright, and then I just put the beef patties back in and then let it continue cooking with the lid on, and that's the final result. And this is the au gratin. It looks so beautiful, and this dinner was so yummy. Okay, so now I have to work on the pistachio cream filling for the cookies, and I just add some pistachios in there and then chop them up again. Now, I actually really liked that it called for using a food processor twice, because I feel like I got more use out of it before I had to wash it, if that makes sense, because this was going to make a lot of dishes. It did make a lot of dishes, so it was nice to use it twice and not just once. And then you pulverize your pistachios even finer than you do to put them in the cookies. You do it fine as possible. You could even buy pistachio flour. That's probably more expensive though. And then you add 3 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream until it becomes a paste like this. And then you add that to some softened butter. It's actually like 3/4 cup softened butter, so I think it's like a stick and a half. And then you beat that until it's creamy. And then you add 1.5 cups of powdered sugar and 3 more tablespoons of heavy cream, and then you just beat it until it's smooth, and add a teaspoon of vanilla and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And you keep beating that, and then you add another 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. I picked out a smaller bowl to beat this in because I didn't realize it was going to add more and more powdered sugar, but the way that it's broken up in the magazine is kind of awkward, because whenever it gets to the pistachio cream, there's not like a separate ingredient list. It only tells you the measurements in the instructions. So anyway, and then you just keep doing that until it's light and fluffy, and then you're gonna spread it in between your sandwich cookies, and then we're gonna like decorate the sandwich cookies. They're gonna look so pretty.
what did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be yours. One day I'll be yours. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life changes just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be yours.
I've just got some melted almond bark here. I just melted it in the microwave and I am dipping the sandwich cookies. They look so cute, like half dipped, but you have to use so much chocolate to do that. Like you need a deeper vessel of chocolate. So I didn't want to waste any of the chocolate, so I just drizzled on the rest of them. And I was left with a lot of the pistachio cream filling. I don't know if you saw, that's how much I had left. So I have plenty enough to make more. I'll probably make smaller cookies next time too. And I still had a ton of almond bark left as well. So I took, I don't show it here, but I took some pretzels and dipped them in chocolate for my husband to enjoy as a snack. And I took some pistachios and chopped them up pretty finely and used them to kind of just decorate the tops of those cookies. They turned out so beautiful. And it's the end of a long evening, so a long day. So I was just going to put all my dirty dishes in here and get the kitchen squared away. I couldn't wait to use my new dishwasher. This was the first day that I actually got to use it, so that worked out beautifully for me. And you can see I look a little bit confused because the like skinny top rack that's on it, I've never had one of those before, and I know I could put like utensils and stuff up there, and I did, but I didn't know how much space I had. So like I would try things and they'd be a little bit too tall for that area, and then I'd have to move them to a different spot. So anyway.
hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regret.
So let me know in the comments if you celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and if so, what do you do for it? Do you just make like fun treats and stuff, or do you go all out? I want to hear what other people do and how they celebrate it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you like my content, and I can't wait to hang out again next time. I'll see y'all later. Bye.